Hello and welcome to my online portfolio presentation. My name is Clint Kelly and I am here to show you a couple pieces of artwork that I've created over the past couple years, ranging from characters to animations to texture creation to object creation and even level design. First I want to start by saying thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. A lot of people have asked. Normally blow it off, so thank you very much. Let's get started. This is my main page. It has a little bit of information about me and what programs I've used. It has a little music device that automatically loads when you type in the address. It's the score of the Transformers, so not created by me, by Steve Jablonsky, so that way, you know, that clears his name out of the picture. So let's go ahead and get started with the photo gallery so I can show you a couple pieces of artwork. Alright. This is my M4 assault rifle that I created in 3ds Max. It's a low poly version. I didn't want to create something very complex that would have issues running on my laptop, so it's a low poly model. Has a couple special features. There's a handguard rail, a grenade launcher, and ACOG scope. It even has a couple of the real assets that the real gun has, such as a clip ejection button, a safety switch, and here is a stock extractor button that currently is in the process of being animated, so it can slide back and forth. Fairly simplistic. Has a black metal texture that I created in Photoshop. The camouflage you are seeing I actually found online and had to modify it because it was just too bright and it didn't really match with the black. It just stood out actually more. Instead of, you know, camouflaging the weapon, it just made it vibrant and very noticeable. So I toned down the hues and gave it a couple different little extras to help tone it down. The ACOG scope actually has a little photo that I put in there, so when you view it in the video, you'll actually be able to see it and get a closer view of the whole weapon itself. Let's continue. This is a soldier that I found courtesy of Turbo Squid. When I got him, he did not have any textures, so I downloaded him for one of the levels that I created. It's more of like a first-person army type game, so I thought he would be a perfect way to get started on that. Everything you see here besides the geometry, I pretty much did all myself. Here is that camouflage pattern again. You can see he's wrapped in it just like a real soldier would be. Even his little pouches on his belt, I wanted to camouflage just like in real life. You can see here in his goggles, it's kind of small. I didn't get close enough, but there is a carbon fiber texture on his goggles that represent the Oakley goggles used by Special Forces today. I wanted to get it as close as possible to being realistic. Here's the black glass for their eye protection. Simple little texture there, reflective texture. You can see his sidearm was also textured to mock a real-life weapon, and his vest as well as his holster and little straps. I created that in Photoshop, looking to try to create a like a nylon type texture, I believe is what is used on the real vests. There's also a version of him where the vest was created with a woodland camouflage type texture. Back in the early 90s when the bulletproof vests first came out, they were woodland camouflage and the soldiers really didn't have a choice what color they wanted, and so that's what they wore if they wanted to wear it. So you'll see that later on in a video. The boots are a simple brown leather texture I created, trying to keep it simplistic, so this little laptop can't run too much. So I wanted to keep everything as low poly and as simple as possible. This is a lightsaber that I created in 3ds Max. Very simple geometry, not a lot to impress here. It is a replica of Obi-Wan's lightsaber from the Phantom Menace movie. I did change it up a little bit so it wasn't, in copyright violation. So I switched it 10%, and the ball here I just kept as a simple ball instead of the regular geometry that his has. It has a couple more pieces of geometry within the ball, so I kept that basic, but the rest is pretty much identical. I did a lot of comparing as I created it. Simple textures, chrome knobs, chrome red, chrome yellow, black, like a rubber texture. And then the chrome texture was a little difficult to make and actually make it look right on this weapon. So I finally got that to work, and overall I'm very happy with this piece. It does animate. For those who are wondering, there is a short movie that I did create using this weapon, which you'll see over in the videos tab a little later on. This is a 3ds Max created Huey helicopter reference. I found this online, and I decided to help this guy by throwing in a couple of my own deals. I did not create the chopper, but I did mess around with it and put my own touches on it and fix a couple pieces of geometry that just wasn't right. I have a lot of history with these. I know a lot about them, and so I decided to go ahead and help him out. I changed the stem on this. It wasn't correct. So I fixed that. A couple little pieces back here that it needed. A couple little interior pieces. Can't really see, but there are benches and foot pedals and a dashboard and stuff like that in there. The texture is a basic the woodland camouflage I was talking about earlier that I have. This helicopter was originally used in the jungle during Vietnam, so I didn't want to put a desert camouflage on it or anything, and it is actually used in one of my levels. So the woodland camouflage was the best way to go on this. The army green made it look very, very cheap looking, I guess you could say. It made it look really, really fake, and I didn't like it, so I went ahead and used the woodland camouflage. Also, by the way, I shortened the blades on this. They were way too long, so I shortened the blades and added my own textures, and these are all my own textures on this. The original textures were not available from the gentleman who I downloaded this from. He had a couple textures that he had, and I just didn't think they were correct, so I went ahead and changed it all into my liking. And it does animate. The blades do turn, chopper moves. I'll show you that a little bit later in another video. Let's continue. This is a standard crate, ammo crate, or whatever the level designer wants to use it as. Has a lot of bump in it to simulate like an old wood. Before it used to be just planks, and I wasn't really happy with it, so I went ahead and added a different texture to the edges and like as a particle board and stuff, just to give it a different look of what the original crate is. I mean, there's a million types of crates out there, and I didn't want to try to replicate any of them, so I just gave it my own little special touch to it. Has a lot of bump map in both the different textures. You can see here with the lighting effects that I used, you can see that the depth of the grains in the wood really show with the different amounts of lighting, depending on the angle of how you're looking at it. Very simple piece of geometry. It didn't take me long to create. Getting the texture to look right took a little bit of time, but all in all, I'm happy with this piece. Came out nice. This right here is a simple watchtower that I created using 3ds Max. I needed a couple fill objects for the background of one of my levels, and I thought this would be perfect, you know, especially out in the distance. It doesn't need a lot of geometry, it doesn't need a lot of bump mapping or texturing, you know, just the basics as to use it as a fill object. It's actually completely referenced off of an image I found online, pretty much 100% identical. I just took a real life image and pretty much made it in 3ds Max, which was kind of nice. It was an easy process. A couple simple textures. Has a log texture, a wood plank texture, and a roofing texture, just to, you know, give it a little bit of variety in it. So that is my my photos that I have uploaded here for now. I'm going to continue to add more as I move on, creating more and more objects and upgrading textures and continuing my education. But let's go on to the videos tab, and I'm going to cut the video short because we are running out of time, and on the next video we will do a couple walkthroughs of all my animations. I'll see you then. Bye.